Today we're going to do a quick unboxing and initial impressions at this Phalanx 12 volt 3/8 cordless ratchet wrench. So these have been all the rage lately. I've never had one. I only have traditional impact wrenches. I haven't had these. I have manual sockets, obviously, but these are meant to augment a traditional ratchet wrench that typically just, allows you to undo bolts and screws. Well, anybody who's used cordless tools, electric is the way to go. So this one is a 12 volt and is 3/8 drive. And so we're going to take a quick look at it. So let's unbox it together and see what we think of this tool. So in the box, what we have presented is a nice plastic case. I like to see that. So nothing else in the box. And this is great because typically you have these coming with accessories and you need to keep them together. So they have nice plastic buckles. And inside we have a user manual. We'll put that aside. We've got a little foam packaging material in here. I suppose we could leave that in there to help things not shift around if needed. And then we have a small assortment of 3-inch drive sockets. Now, interestingly, these are not typically what you see in impact, but these ratchet impacts are, they're fine to use with traditional sockets. And a little, looks like a 2-inch extension. So 3/8 inch extension. So we'll leave those sockets aside. We'll test those later. It looks like it does come with a small 3/8 to 1/4 inch drive adapter as well. So that's nice. Okay, so we've got 2 batteries and these look very, so they have a, looks like they have a little power charger adapter there. So that's the way you charge it. It does not have a actual cradle as some other power tools do. You just plug the battery in directly, just like that. So you get a charger, 2 batteries, and the tool. So that is the tool. So just handling it here for a second, it seems like a pretty decent build quality. I won't pull them in frame, but I've got some other tools outside of frame, and just looking at them, it looks like a typical power tool, what you'd expect. So it has some rubberized grip here. It says lithium ion there, so these batteries are lithium. We'll put one in and test it here in a second. It looks like it has some rubber. I assume that's so when you're banging up against something, you don't scratch it. And then, of course, the ratcheting mechanism, you can reverse it forward or back, depending which way you go. The trigger is this large paddle. So it does have a safety here. So if you click the safety off, you're good to go. And if you click that back, it's locked. So you can't activate it. So that's a nice feature. So let's throw a battery in. I don't know if these are going to have any charge or not, but we will test it. So they pop right in. They look a lot like Milwaukee batteries, but actually they're not. They're slightly different. And so the battery's in. So before I actually power it, the battery gives it a lot better balance. It feels better in your hand with the battery on. So that's something to note. We got a little bit charged there. I don't know if there's a battery indicator. I don't believe there is, but it's surprisingly quiet. Of course, I don't have any load on it, so let's put let's reset the camera. We'll head over to something that we can test it on and let you see how it performs. All right, so we're going to test it here on the 2 bolts on my dirt bike. So these are 12 millimeter, so I'm just going to pop on a 12 millimeter socket, and that is on loosen. So I have not charged a battery, so I'm not sure if this is full or not. There is some LEDs there, and it's going all the way green, so I assume that means it's full. So let's see here what we get. So I can loosen it by hand, and that's it. It comes, yeah. So as you saw there in the beginning, it didn't have the power to break the torque. This is not something that you would expect to have a ton of torque for. You wouldn't use it for heavy torque applications. But the nice thing about these types of tools, and the reason why I wanted one, is so you can see there, after it finishes torque, it locks in, so I can still finish that last bit of hand tightening to give me what I expect. So, you know, anybody who's used tools before, you know that sometimes, you know, you just want to feel how much torque in a manual wrench. This is the best of both worlds, because most of the work is in those, you know, tons and tons of turns that you have to do in a manual socket. Well, this thing takes care of it for you and then lets you finish up the torquing by hand to what you want it to be. So what's my quick impressions? Well, first of all, I think it's got decent power. It's not the most powerful tool, and that's not what the purpose of this is. This is an efficiency tool meant to help you work a little faster and take the time away. It's got the ergonomics of a regular wrench, obviously a little beefier, so you can get into some of the tightest locations that you would with a small 3-inch drive ratchet, but it's fairly small. It has decent power. The thing I'm noticing is it's a lot quieter than I thought it would be. So anybody who's used, you know, cordless impact wrenches or certainly air tools, you know, those can be, it could be quite a racket. It could be quite loud. You almost need hearing protection. This thing is very quiet, very pleasant to use. I think I will be grabbing this working on bikes and cars quite a bit. I really, really like this. So, you know, really, you can go chase after an expensive brand, but this one, it's kind of a no-brainer. Grab one of these, put it in your toolbox, and I think you're going to be really impressed, as I am. My initial impressions, thumbs up.